Today, I have a small but mighty PSA return for you guys. It's only 25 cards, but the return has 3 cards worth over $1,000 a piece. One of my biggest PSA returns to date. Let's take a look. To start us off, we have a couple of awesome modern Lugia hyper rares. Let's start with the rainbow. So we have the PSA 10 Lugia VSTAR from Paradigm Trigger, the hyper rare rainbow. Absolutely beautiful looking cards. The rainbows, especially the VSTAR rainbows, are some really nice looking cards in my opinion. Next up, we have the gold Lugia VSTAR from Paradigm Trigger, the ultra rare gold VSTAR card. Absolutely beautiful. Lugia is just one of those Pokemon that's just always going to be popular. One of the most popular legendaries around. Next up, we have a gold card from VSTAR Universe. I think I actually got this in a lot with this gold card and maybe actually with that hyper as well. This might all have come from the same lot, but we got a PSA 10, the gold Palkia from VSTAR Universe. The gold cards from VSTAR Universe are just absolutely beautiful, especially the Arceus and the Darkrai, some of my favorite modern cards. Now, Charizard time, baby. I don't know if you guys saw the first look at that Charizard EX coming out in Obsidian Flames, but it looks interesting to say the least. Still not a fan of the hats, but the card looks pretty awesome. We have 2 PSA 10 of the VSTAR Universe Charizard V alternate art. You got the Venusaur in the background, post-battle clarity right here. We got 2 of these in PSA 10. I've picked up a couple more of those since then. Glad to see these are getting decent grades. Next up, from the same set, we have 2 of the Mewtwo VSTAR from VSTAR Universe. This card is obviously amazing. It includes Charizard and Mewtwo battling it out. So much dynamic artistry happening on the card. It's just a beautiful looking card for like 20 bucks. I think you can find them for like 20, 25 bucks. Last but not least, we do have that other perspective. We've got 2 PSA 10s of the Charizard VSTAR from VSTAR Universe. This is the alternate art, and wowza. I love when cards tell a story, and these cards being able to be like behind Mewtwo, behind Charizard, in the middle of a battle, super awesome, very beautiful looking cards. Now, it wouldn't be a PSA return from me without some mid-era holos. So, first of all, we've got a couple 9s. We only got 2 9s out of our 25 card submission. We've got the Shiny Darkness First Ed Blastoise Holo. I've been sending these in all year. Anytime I can pick them up around like the 20-ish, 15-ish dollar range and they look clean. It's a very nice looking Blastoise from the mid-era, and this one pulled the 9, unfortunately, probably because of centering or something like that. I haven't gotten a chance to take a look too deeply onto these cards just yet. And then this one also got the 9. This is the Rayquaza C Holo from Beat of the Frontier. This one's first edition. And you got Cynthia on the card. One of the better Rayquaza artworks. Really cool from Kawaii, I think. Next, let's look at a PSA 10 Rayquaza. Let's go. Cry from the Mysterious. First edition. I've sold a few of these in PSA 10 so far, and I was lucky enough to grab another one. Next up, we got Arcanine. Arcanine, one of the best pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Should have been a legendary Pokemon ever. We've got the Heart Gold collection. You've seen me buy this over and over and over and over again because it's just a beautiful artwork from Saito. One of the better Arcanine cards in my opinion. This one got the PSA 10. I've got a ton more of these out at PSA. Hope we get a bunch more 10s. Another Arcanine. We've got the Bonds to the End of Time first edition Arcanine PSA 10. It's been a while since I had this one in a PSA 10, but sells pretty well when I do get it in. Next up, the XY era is not an era that I've graded very many cards from, but I saw this and it was a Gengar, so I thought I would give it a shot. And we got the PSA 10 Gengar Holo first edition from Blue Shock. This is just a really cool looking Gengar artwork, and I had to grab it when I saw that it looked really minty, sent it in, and we got lucky enough to get the PSA 10. Really, really cool artwork. Next is a card I actually feel really lucky about. So this is a Win from the Sea. This is first edition, double swirl. You got a swirl on the right and left, Entei Holo. So this came in a collection that I bought recently. It looked really clean. It's that new back Japanese, so I decided to send it to PSA. I think it had a couple issues here and there, and I thought, well, if it gets a 9, it's still a decent grade, and it pulled the 10, which is absolutely awesome. I love this artwork of Entei. Beautiful card, and it pulled the PSA 10 from Win from the Sea. Very happy about that one. You're probably thinking, where are the cards that are worth $1,000? Where are the... Well, I had to put them at the end of the video so that you guys would watch the whole thing. I am a YouTuber after all. So now we're getting into the set that came from one of the collections. It is a Pokekyun set. It's probably the cutest Pokemon Japanese card set you've ever seen. We're going to start off with some really nice looking holos from the set, from the Radiant collection. I guess it's not really because it's Pokekyun, but whatever. And then we're moving into the big hitters. So we have the Altaria. So this card is adorable. It has the Sylveon on there. It's got the Dedenne and the Altaria all playing, looks like in a ball pit, almost from like a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. It looks a lot cuter than that, but that's really cool. All of these cards have this really cool like holofoil etching pattern across them. Each of them have like a different etching pattern. I sent off some of the other holos in a submission that I'm hoping to get back hopefully in the next month or two. You know, PSA is slowing down a little bit, but it should hopefully come within two to 3 months, hopefully. We've got the Jirachi from the Pokekyun collection. You can see another awesome etch foil reverse on the description section. Next up, one of my favorite Charizards of all time. I sent 2 of them in and we got 2 PSA 10s. I love this line. I actually sent in 3 of the Charmanders and 3 of the Charmeleons as well, but it's one of those artwork setups where you can see the kid kind of grow up with the Pokemon. So you have like a crying child with Charmander, and then you have like a teenage kid with Charmeleon, and then you have an adult with Charizard, and it's just a great line. I love it so much. You get the snowflakes here with the snow artwork. It's just a beautiful set. Now we're going to start getting into the big hitters, what you've all been waiting for, the main event. We've got a couple Gardevoirs before we get to the craziness, but these are pretty expensive cards in their own right. This is the Gardevoir EX. This is really cool because you get Routes, Kirlia, and Gardevoir on the exact same card, and this one got the PSA 10 as well as every other card left in this submission. Spoiler alert. You're still going to want to stick around and see them though because they are impressive. Next up, we've got the Mega Gardevoir EX. This has the Mega Gardevoir and the regular Gardevoir, I think? Or was there 2 different types of Mega Gardevoirs? I have no idea. But this is really cool. Brilliant arrow across the front. In English, this would be in Japanese, but in Japanese, this is in English, this wording. I really love how they did that on the Mega cards back in the day, and this is just a gorgeous card. If you love Gardevoir, those are 2 of the must-haves for Gardevoir collectors. We've got the Flareon EX Pokekyun Collection First Edition PSA 10. This card is massive. It's got Vaporeon, it's got Flareon, and it's got Jolteon. This card is really up there. Not in English, in Japanese, really up there, because I think the Pokekyun set was fairly low printed, if I remember correctly. There's a reason why that box is expensive. I think the set just has a really good theme to it, and I think it was fairly short printed. I don't know for sure, but there's a reason the box is like 2K or something like that. But yeah, this is one of the hits from the box. Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, PSA 10, absolutely gorgeous. Next up, Sylveon. Isn't this adorable? You've got Sylveon with Eevee chomping on the ribbons. They're running around, they're playing in the grass. Absolutely adorable card. An Eevee and Sylveon collector's dream card right here. This has got to be a grail for them. And this is just absolutely gorgeous. Very expensive card as well. I was very, very lucky to pick up this collection. This came from a collection where the woman who had the cards actually lived in Hawaii. So a lot of the cards that she opened as a kid were Japanese. So that massive, I think it was like 4,500 Japanese binder I bought from them, which included some of these cards. I also bought my Poncho Pikachus from them. Like there's a lot of stuff that I actually bought from this person, and it's just fantastic timing on my part for picking them up, and so happy that they were able to let them go at the prices in which I got them, because honestly, I'm kind of thinking about holding on to a couple of these cards because they're just that cool. But yeah, beautiful card. Last but not least, we have one of the cutest Pikachu cards you will ever see in your lifetime. We have the Pikachu full art from Pokekyun. First edition, PSA 10. You got 4 Pikachus all just playing and wrestling and climbing over each other, looking absolutely adorable. Himeno at it again with a beautiful, beautiful Pikachu artwork. Absolutely stunning in a PSA 10. This card is massive, and really happy that all of these cards got PSA 10s, apart from 2. It was a massive, massive return. Super happy about it. big things for this channel and for me with this return. So if you guys like this video, you should check out this video where I review the collection in which most of these cards that got PSA 10 today actually came from.